What's up everybody, and welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to take a look at this 2022 BMW M440i Coupe. Big shout out and thank you to Hendrick BMW Northlake for providing this pre-owned M440 for today's video. Definitely take a look at their website, link down below. And the model that we're looking at today is finished off in Portimo Blue Metallic and has a list price around $64,000. Underneath the hood of the M440i Coupe, you're going to find a 3-liter inline 6-cylinder turbocharged engine. It pumps out 382 horsepower with 368 pound-feet of torque. It's paired to an 8-speed automatic transmission and sends all the power to the rear wheels. It also features an 11 horsepower electric mild hybrid system, and with a curb weight around 3,900 pounds, you're looking at 0 to 60 in 4.4 seconds and a top speed at 155 miles per hour. This coupe runs on a 15.6 gallon fuel tank, and it can achieve 22 miles per gallon in the city with 29 out on the highway. The overall length is 188.5 inches with wheelbase at 112.4. Height is 54.8 and width is 72.9 inches. And then now moving on to the exterior styling with the M440i Coupe. This is a very sporty car, and I especially love the blue color with all the black accents. You can see the LED headlights with black for the housing and then the DRL in the lower side. There's a lot of sharp lines cutting through this front bumper and a massive opening on the farthest sides of the bumper to allow cooling to the radiators. There's even a cutout in the far left side to allow air to pass through the front bumper. Then you can see the really sharp lines in the lower portion of the front bumper with even more openings. Right front and center, you're going to see these massive kidney-shaped grills that also feature active openings in the back to improve efficiency and cooling when needed. You can see the gloss black trim as well as more parking sensors and a really nice silver color for the center mesh. You can see we do get an aftermarket front splitter to add some aggression, and it really does come together nicely. As we move our way to the hood, there's really sharp lines that cut from the front bumper right into it all the way towards the windshield. Comes together very well to give it that muscular design. And as we make our way to the side profile, you can see the multi-spoke design on these wheels finished off in satin black with machined silver. We also get the 4-piston brake calipers out front finished off in red, and then a parking sensor on the side of the bumper. There's a sharp line cutting through the side profile, along with another one in the lower portion of this front fender. A good look for the side skirt. Then you can see the body colored door handles and then the gloss black mirror caps with integrated LED turn signals as well as a camera. We also get a sunroof up top as well as a body colored shark fin antenna, then all gloss black trim surrounding the windows. It has a really nice side profile. I like how the rear end slopes down to the trunk, and you can see just how proportional this coupe looks. You can also see from this angle the bulge for the front fender, and as you make your way in back, you can see how wide the rear fenders are. It just gives it that elegant design and a more sporty look. You can see we do have another matching spoiler on the back that match that front splitter. And then we get the M440i badge with your BMW logo. A backup camera is integrated right in the center. Then you can see these LED taillights. They have a smoked out design up top, and they protrude outwards a little bit to give it a wider look. You're going to see 6 parking sensors within the rear bumper, along with a trim piece on the farthest side, and then a massive gloss black rear diffuser. You can also see the dual exhaust tips with black color, and then a cool fin design for the center portion of this splitter. And then the rear end really comes together to fit all these designs. So there's a good look at the exterior with this 2022 M440i Coupe. It's a really good looking car. I really don't have any complaints. The front end even, it really does come together, especially in person. So we have BMW's key fob. You get some silver accents on it. Tapping the BMW logo, it'll lock the car. And then all I have to do is get close to the car or grab the door handle. It'll automatically unlock and we can check out this interior. This particular spec gets the black Vernasca leather interior with white stitching, silver accents, and then some wood trim. If we take a look at the door panel now, finished off in black, we have the contrast stitching along the side as well as this armrest area. We also get your window controls, mirror controls, and memory seat controls. You get a large grab handle, lock and unlock with your release handle, a little bit of ambient lighting in the door, and you get some storage down below along with the trunk release. We get the M logo in this aluminum door sill, and then all of your power controls are on the left side of the seat. We even get adjustments for your bolster as well as lumbar support, and then adjustable leg rest that you can easily pull out. I really like the cool stitching design you're going to see throughout the center. It makes its way all the way up the backrest as well. Then you can see just how everything comes together. We get a black leather steering wheel 3-spoke design with the M logo right in the center. And then now inside the M440i, keeping my foot on the brake, we can go ahead and fire it up. Taking a look at the gauge cluster now, this is a full LCD display. We get the speedometer over on the left with your fuel, then the tach on the right side with battery as well as engine temperature. A navigation screen will come up right in the center, and then if you toggle the BCO logo over on this left stalk, you can actually control what you see on the right screen. It'll go through a few different things within the car, like a horsepower and torque meter. You also get the G-force, any audio that's coming up, as well as your gear and drive mode. Then something very cool, if you do adjust your drive modes down here, you have 3 different modes. Right now we're in comfort mode. If I toggle the Eco Pro, it gets a little bit different with more of an MPG gauge, and then your sport mode gets a little bit more performance oriented. So really nice to see all of that in the screen. Taking a look at the steering wheel now, we have the heater button right in the center. We have cruise control settings on the left side, and then some Bluetooth and audio over on the right. We also get a set of plastic steering wheel mounted paddle shifters that do have a really nice look and feel to them. Then we have the turn signal stalk on the left with automatic high beams, then your windshield wipers over on the right. Taking a look at the left side of the steering wheel, we have all of your headlight controls and interior lighting. You can also get a good look at the ambient lighting. We have one of the air vents, heads-up display system is right in the center. Then you have black coming across the entire dash. We have that dark wood trim along with the silver, and then a little bit of ambient lighting underneath that. And then if we move our way to this navigation screen, really large in HD, it is touchscreen, it's pretty easy to use. We have media controls that can come up on this left side. You can also continue down to communication for all of your phone integration, full screen navigation. Then the car icon, you can see driver information. We get your sport displays where you can monitor all sorts of cool parameters. And then if you go all the way back, we have our apps icon, Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, and then a few more things will come up. If we go ahead and take this car and put it into reverse, your backup camera pops up over on the left side, and we even get a top-down view. You'll notice the car is even the same color that it is in real life. So you'll get a lot of cool different views. And then if we go ahead and just put the car back into park, we can get out of that. Underneath the screen, you can toggle this icon right here, and then you're gonna get your intelligent safety that will come up. You can configure this and adjust your forward collision, lane departure, steering intervention, and blind spot alert. And then underneath that, we have a climate control screen with all the adjustments down below that. Your fan speed is right in the center, you can easily adjust. Then we get your dual zone climate. We also get the heated seat button, the defrost. You have the menu AC button where you can synchronize the heat and adjust a few more things. And then underneath all of those controls, we have some of your audio controls, your track button on the right side, various presets and shortcuts that will come up on the screen, then your volume on off. Then you can grab this and press it down. This wood grain trim piece will pop up and you get 2 cup holders, a USB as well as a 12 volt, then a pad down here for a cell phone. Locking that closed, you can see some of the silver accents and stitching. And we get that shifter right in the center, along with traction control, a shortcut to your camera as well as parking sensors, the drive modes and electronic parking brake. Then this car does feature a really cool area right here with a rotary dial. You can adjust what you see on the screen, basically control everything. It's super easy to use and adjust this, so you can use it on touchscreen or just use the rotary dial. And then underneath all of that, if we grab the center armrest and lift it up, we get a pretty good amount of storage space in here with a USB and a light. Get a nice padded armrest. And going over here, you can see just how large the glove box is. And if we go ahead and close that, take one last look at the interior, I really like how sporty and comfortable everything looks. You know, BMW's interiors pretty much look all the same across the board, but it's a nice place to be and feels very nice. Up top, you can see we have our LED dome lights and then the controls for the sunroof. The M440i also features back seats. There's a grab handle right here you can lift up, the seat will fold forward and then slide up out of the way for better entry and exit. You can see we have the same black leather with all the same stitching. You can also see we have air vents out front and then all your different climate controls as well as USB ports. And then in the center, you even get an armrest. So then now sitting in the back of the 4 Series Coupe, so I'm 5'11" and it's actually a pretty usable car. My head is just barely touching the ceiling and I do get a nice armrest on my left side. If I grab the seat, it'll automatically get back to the position that it was left at. And honestly, I still get plenty of knee room and leg room, even with the seat set at my height. So it's a pretty practical car. This can seat 4 people, so there's no middle seat back here. But like I mentioned, you can pull this down, and we get a nice armrest, along with 2 different cup holders that you can easily pop away. And then you can also grab this piece up top, pull this all the way down and we get a cool entry and exit way all the way into the trunk. And then making our way to the trunk, you can hold down the button on the key fob, the one on the interior, or there is one on the actual trunk lid itself. There's quite a lot of storage space in here. It's pretty squared off, and we even get a small area cut out on each side for smaller items. And then if you go ahead and grab these handles up top, we can manually unlock these seats. And you can see just how much more storage space you're gonna get in this two-doored car. Certainly makes for a practical vehicle. You can see how they fold nearly flat, and we get a really large opening into the trunk, making this a super usable car. All right, so setting off now in the M440i. So the B58 motor that is in this car packs a nice punch. This is a really solid motor, and you kind of get a rear seat Toyota Supra out of this. If you're familiar with that car, you know, great performance car, same platform pretty much. The M440i Coupe gives you that same feeling. It is a fun to drive sports car, especially when you're in the Sport Plus mode right now. You know, it handles really well, the dampers stiffen up, steering's nice and tight. It's a car that seems pretty well rounded. I mean, you can actually have some fun with this, taking it to the mountains or just going on a backcountry road. Really fun the way the power delivery is. The turbo engine delivery of power is just so smooth the way everything works. Nice torque, really good horsepower curve as well. And then I like how with a car like this, you can easily tone it down if you need to. You know, if you have traffic, go into Eco Pro mode, automatic mode, and the whole car just tones down into a nice, normal, luxurious BMW. The automatic transmission is really smooth in automatic mode. You don't really feel any gear changes. It's just a nice normal car to drive. Seating position is also really good. Of course, you have a really good view out of the windshield. All the mirrors do a great job letting you know what's going on behind the car. And then if you do look over your left and right shoulder, you really don't have any blind spots. I really like how the windows are pretty large back there, and that seat pillar is pretty long to where it's not bulky and in the way. And then of course you have your cruise control, all the safety settings to just make this a nice normal car. And I also like how you get good armrests. You know, it's a car that you can just kind of sit back and relax. Really not anything too crazy to complain about with a car like this. And in the normal eco mode right now, it's pretty quiet. You don't really hear much wind noise or road noise or anything like that. It's pretty decently insulated from the outside environment. And it's just an easy car to drive. That's one of my favorite things with the BMWs. They're just super easy. Same with the way the interior works. It's so simple. You know, this screen gives you everything you want to see, but nothing else. So it's just a really simple car. And then if we go into comfort mode, the car gets a little bit more normal. You know, throttle response is now back at a normal feeling responsive level. You know, drives like a car you would expect it to drive like. And then of course, going into the manual mode, we also have a sport automatic, but we'll go into manual and then back into sport. And then we get a super snappy gear change now. As soon as you let off the paddle, we're shifting, and the power, like I said, is just so good. Not really too much exhaust sounds or anything like that. 2022, BMW kind of toned that down to where you really don't get much of that drama anymore. The older ones a few years ago had a lot more drama with the sound and everything. And then the Brembo brakes on these, they work really, really well. You come to a stop without even thinking. And then of course, if you want to merge back into some traffic, super fluid. And it's just an effortless acceleration. I like the gear ratios with the 8-speed as well. They don't feel like there's too many gears or too short or anything. It just does what you want it to do. Even coming into a sharp turn. I think traction control got me a little bit. This is a rear-wheel drive one. Of course, you can get xDrive all-wheel drive if you want a little bit extra control. And of course, you can turn traction control off and drift this a little bit, get some tail-happy action going in this car. But it certainly is a fun-to-drive car that is really, really well-rounded. So then turning around to my perspective, my honest thoughts about the M440i, to be honest, I think it's a really good blend. There's not really many cars that truly can compete with this. You kind of get the best of everything. You get that cool looking two-door sports car coupe. You get a very useful trunk. The rear seats are even usable, which you don't see in many cars like this. Now, this is kind of the baby version of what an M4 is gonna be. The M4, obviously, way turned up a notch, much more power, much more raw performance and everything like that. This car is toned down. You know, this in eco mode, it is nothing out of the ordinary. It's just a basic 4 Series. You can cruise it, get pretty good gas mileage, and just enjoy driving a pretty generally luxurious car. But I like it when you pop it into the sport mode full manual mode and everything, even play with traction control. You can turn it off, or you can even, I believe, hold it down and turn things really off and get into the more performance one, DSC off right there. But it lets you kind of have that blend. And I like how you can feel when you let off the gas, the car kind of lurches forward because there was so much acceleration. It's a really quick car. 0 to 60, I mean, you're going to be hitting speeds you want to hit whenever you want to do it. So I just like that aspect with a car like this, to where you can get so much. I always like cars where you get a lot in one package. The fact that this can go from comfortable, easy cruise control, just normal luxury, and then a pretty performance focused car, it's a nice blend. Only downfalls, I would say, a lot of people seem to complain about the infotainment and everything. It's nothing new. You know, BMW really doesn't do much anything different with their infotainment screens, the gauge cluster. There's not really anything crazy tech savvy about a BMW, but me personally, I like how simple it is. You know, in my center screen, I like having the navigation screen, and then all my turn by turn will come on if I'm using navigation. I don't need anything else in the center screen. I don't really like the cars that have just a million things coming at you. You know, you can't stare at your screens while you're driving. You gotta be paying attention. And I've noticed BMW really is the driver's car. They want you to enjoy driving your car, but have enough technology to do what you gotta do. You know, the screen itself, super simple. Again, nothing too crazy with the information you get, but it gives you everything that you want. So I like BMWs. You know, I've been around them quite a lot the last few years, and I really don't have many complaints. You know, they feel just like nice, solid cars, and especially it seems like after 2020 and up, they are really, really reliable. Especially this B58 motor, it is a rock solid power plant. And if you plan to do upgrades, tuning, I mean, you're talking about a 500 horsepower car out of this with just basic tuning, and it can still handle the power. So it's a really good blend. This one particularly looks great in the color. Black interior, can't go wrong with. It's got a few aftermarket things with the splitter and the wing, but it's a nice car overall. I really can't complain. So I think that is then it for this 2022 BMW M440i Coupe. If you guys enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. Stay tuned for plenty more content. And then a big shout out and thank you once again to Hendrick BMW Northlake for providing this pre-owned car for today's video. Definitely check out their website linked below. I'll see you guys in the next video.